I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, fam? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm here to bring y'all the latest review for Married to Medicine. This is episode 4, okay? Come on in, everyone. And if you can hear the sound of my voice, please let me know by putting your country, your island, your city, your state, your continent, wherever you are from, into the chat. That way I know y'all are here and y'all are with me, okay? Come on in. Come on in. I see my moderator, Cheryl the Pearl, is here. Y'all, Cheryl the Pearl is such a blessing. She is such a blessing. Thank you, Miss Lady, okay, for blessing me on Friday. I believe it was Friday. She had sent me a little something for Christmas. So thank you, Miss Cheryl the Pearl. Also, thank you to Lady D Keys. Both of these ladies are volunteering their time in the chat so that we can have a good time today, because, baby, Married to Medicine was a good time. Okay, so we are about to talk about it. Come on in. You finally got a chance to see it live. Well, I'm happy to have you, girl. Welcome to the cookout, okay? Come on in, Cookie Clark. Nice to have you. What's up, Alexis? Nice to have you. Andrea, what's up, what's up? Come on in. Is it Estes Bonita? Thank you for coming through. Y'all, I had y'all take a poll at the top of the chat. Hopefully you've taken it, okay? I need to know if y'all thought Toya was right in telling Heavenly and Mimi, shake a bone and get the hell on, or if Toya just had a little too much of the Julio and was acting a foolio over there. Y'all know Toya loves her some tequila, child. So take that poll and let me know what y'all think. Happy or Merry Christmas, I should say, to everybody as we are coming through. What's up, Susie? Let's see, waiting on you to come through. Get your cake. Okay, let me tell you. Come on in, everybody. There's banana pudding. There's ribs. There's all kinds of stuff, okay? Ham, turkey. What's up, Diarese? Nice to have you. You was waiting on the review. Girl, listen. I'm about to give y'all my opinion on this review. We've seen these ladies for a long time, right? They've been on 12 episodes. We have seen them go through horrible shit with their husbands, cheating and things like that. We saw what went down with Quad and, Dr. G, when Jackie and Curtis were into it, cheating. Who else? Scott and Contessa. We've seen all of these ladies come through for each other. We've never seen anything horrible, in my opinion, between Toya and Eugene. Have y'all seen anything bad with Toya and Eugene? They accused Toya of cheating, but for the most part, Eugene's been a stand-up husband. Like, all of the ladies has always talked about how Eugene has been the best husband. If y'all have seen Eugene play Toya in any way, let me know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I've never seen it. But with everything, all the shit that we have seen go down, I will say this. I have never, ever seen, like, when these ladies are into it, when they want to be with their man, okay, somebody said no. I just want to know, when, who was it? Let me get the names right. When Simone and Curtis was going through it, and we know they were going through it. They lived in 2 separate houses. And she came out. But sometimes you can't say the shit on screen because you want to really be able to think it out for yourself, process the shit. But when she was like, listen, I don't think that they slept together. This is what Simone said about Cecil and his good friend Tammy. I don't think they slept together, but this bitch was out here calling herself the other Mrs. Whitmore, right? Actually stayed in my house for way too long, okay? Eating my good food and everything. And the two of them was laughing and getting high off of me. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit pissed her off. And even though her friends were supportive, y'all remember this? Even though the friends were supportive, they were like, listen, girl, go on ahead. I think they would have went either way with her. But when she found out that them friends was talking or they had feelings of their own, she got pissed off at everybody. Don't talk about my husband, okay? And Toya is a damn fool, right? Right. Don't talk about my husband because nobody wants you to talk about them. Even though what people don't get is when you are friends with somebody who's going through some shit, you go through it too. You go through it just like you live in that house because you have to hear that shit. It gets in your head. You need an outlet as well. Nobody thinks about that though. You know what I'm saying? Come on in. Welcome. I love you, Jean. She's lucky. Baby, Toya better get her shit together before a bitch named Becky takes them from her. Okay, you have no idea. Them people at the hospital, they are very competitive. They want them a husband too. They work up there with your husband 15 hours a day, 12 hours a day, the late shift. You know what I'm saying? And he has no choice but to talk about all the bad shit that's going on in your house because he got to get it out. Y'all have no clue. Okay? She going to mess some shit up and she's going to find out the hard way exactly how easy she got it because that man is willing to do anything for her, including going broke 15 fucking times. Including going broke 50 fucking times. Okay. Toya better get it together. Come on in. Hold on one second, y'all. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness. That was an emergency call that I needed to take. Otherwise, I would not have done that to y'all. But I'm back. I'm back. So hopefully y'all can hear me. Just let me know that you can hear me. I'm gonna take this banner down, and we can get into it. Let's see. That's why I'm not a fan of Toya. She is disrespectful to her husband. Okay, exit out and come back in. Okay, you can't hear me. Damn. Let me see. You can hear me? If you can hear me, put a 2 in the chat. Can't hear me. Okay. Okay, you can hear me. Cool. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, listen, out of all the people on this damn show, Toya, why do you're the one who's given us everything that we know about Eugene. That's straight up. I mean, before they even started this, like all the flashbacks that they're giving now, because you have been on this show for a little while, it was you who brought up the small penis bullshit. That was like two seasons ago. Girl, just some of the stuff that you say that everybody let roll off of their backs, including Eugene most, because it affects him the most. But baby, when I tell you sometimes, and I feel the same way, when Heavenly was saying some of those shit, when she was like, girl, you have no clue what happens in these fucking doctor's offices, these hospitals. You think you are Mrs. MD. You know what I'm saying? You're not. There is another culture that happens in these places that you have no clue about, baby. And they will f your life up. You better cut that shit out, okay? Anyway, we're going to get into it because I believe that Miss Toya has officially lost her damn mind. She has. She's lost it. And I told y'all, thank you, Show the Pearl. I told y'all that Toya is the messiest. She is the messiest. I don't care. We laugh at Dr. Heavenly because she's loud. She's loud, but she typically repeats the shit you say to her. And then everybody gets upset about it. Toya is in her own lane when it comes to this stuff. Absolutely. I'm a healthcare worker and I've seen, okay, I've seen marriages get destroyed. Facts. Okay, I've only been in spaces where I was the only one. And I'm like, whoo, child. I know that we talk a lot about some of the shit we see on this TV, but y'all have no idea. It's Mickey Mouse Club shit compared to what's really going on. Okay? Mickey Mouse Club, and that's no joke. These people are very, very savvy. They know how to swoop in and make your life fucking miserable. And Eugene has just came out on this fucking show and said he got 5 hospitals that he worked at. And of the 5, every single last one of them wants him to stay there permanently, which means they are incentivizing him. They are wooing him. They are getting their best of the best on this case to make sure that he stays. And when they see shit like this go down on TV, okay, if they teasing Heavenly, remember when Heavenly had went to BravoCon one year and one of the ladies came up and was like, where's Dr. Damon? Okay, I heard he liked blondes. I like you, Dr. Heavenly, but I really like Dr. Damon. And she did that to her face. So you can only imagine what goes on in real life. Come on in, everybody. Hit the like button, share the video. I appreciate every single one of y'all for hanging out with me on this fine Monday. I love her calling out the ladies, but I can't stand how she disrespects Eugene. But she calls out the ladies because they call her out for disrespecting Dr. Eugene. They only call her out for disrespecting Dr. Eugene. That's why. That's the majority of the beef that they have with her. And they're really just laughing at her because she's a lot younger than them. And they know They know the ropes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them probably had already betted that Toya's relationship with Eugene would be over a long time ago. But they're like, well, fuck, Eugene must like that shit, because at the end of the day, we're only seeing the TV version. But like Jackie said last night, if this is the shit that happens in front of all of us, we can only imagine what happens when them doors are closed, okay? When nobody's there. Call one of the ladies was a deflection of her own damn behavior. Okay, so let's get into it. It picks up exactly where it left off, okay? Simone said, y'all remember, who here doesn't want to be divorced? Is it just me? That's how Simone ended the last week's episode. And then when we get this episode, she said, who here? Who here? Who here? 3 times. Who here doesn't want to be divorced? And while she's doing that, child, everybody's like, Simone, don't do that, okay? Jackie said, if you say it one more damn time, I'm going to pop you in the mouth. Period. She exactly said that. Simone said, do I look happy? Do I sound happy? I'm ready to go, okay? Heavenly grabbed Simone by her hand. She said, bitch, this ain't the place. This ain't the place. We know you got a real moment, but these cameras is not where you want it to happen. Simone forgot she done said all this shit because she was trying to console her husband on live. She said, no, the only reason why I said that was because Contessa was talking about Scott. So she was trying to make it out like the cameras caught it wrong. And she was simply talking about Scott and Contessa. Bitch, them cameras didn't catch that wrong. They came right back and it was you. You said, I am not happy. I am not happy here. Okay? Baby, that was a great scene. Okay? Now, despite the fact that back in the day when everybody did gather around and said, girl, let's get your shit together. When she was still going through it, she told everybody to leave her and her damn marriage alone, just like people do when they might be really going through things. I promise you, you don't want your mama to tell you, your sister, your friends, no fucking body. This is my relationship with my husband, and as foul as it may be, you aren't going to take advice from anybody to break the fuck up, even when you want to. You could say, I want to break up like Simone did. And then what did Simone do? She went and bought that boy a Tesla. Then she took him and his girlfriend and Miles and his girlfriend to Jamaica, because that's what happens. That's what happens. So you can get involved in that relationship if you want to. You can say something negative about them if you want to. And when that shit turns the corner, which it always does, you'll be on the outside of that friendship. That's right. Hit the like button and share the video, please and thank you. That's right. Not just bought him a Tesla, baby. Bought him a Tesla and took him to Jamaica. And his girlfriend. Michael, Miles, and their girlfriends. That says all we need to know, okay? Sometimes people just like to bitch, and that's it. Took the girls' friends too. That's right. How dare you use me and my money? And then let's go. Everybody in the car. Everybody in the car. We on the way to the airport, okay? Anyway, while all this is going on, Brandy tries to take control of the situation yet again, because y'all know it was Brandy's birthday. So she's like, okay, ladies, y'all are ruining the spirit of this occasion, okay? This is my birthday. I need to celebrate. And then they have a couple of girls come out with a banner that says, happy birthday, Brandy. And they clap and everything. And they're like, girl, okay, cool. In confessional, Contessa, who is still upset about Brandy and the shade, she said, listen, so what, your husband spent a couple of $1,000s on Applebee's? I don't care. I don't give a shit if your husband spent a couple of $1,000 on Applebee's. You're going to have to step your game up, okay? Because these ladies go hard in the paint. So basically, Contessa is trying to haze the newbie a little bit in confessional, because we all remember this used to be Contessa in her first season, right? But now she's like, bitch, you better step your game up. Nobody cares, okay? And if you think that your husband's spending a couple of $1,000 on Applebee's is going to change the tide, you're wrong. All right. Anyway, Heavenly goes over and she hugs Contessa because for whatever reason, well, I'm about to tell you the reason. Heavenly had a real like kinship with Simone, excuse me, with Simone. So she was holding her hand in the beginning. When they all get up and I guess they're about to walk out, Heavenly goes over, she hugs Simone, they start rocking a little bit, and Heavenly says, my shit is much worse than yours. I promise you. My shit is much worse than yours, which gives us in TV land the impression that maybe Dr. Daddy might not like Heavenly right now, that him and her might be having the problems. And it may be over those kids, in particular, Damon Jr., right? What did you say? The girlfriend got that 60K? Okay. Anyway, Heavenly and Simone decide to sit down. And that's when Heavenly says, I confronted Damon Jr. about his ass getting arrested. And just in case y'all don't know, Damon Jr. was accused of driving his car directly at a police officer who was standing. He did not hit him, but he still charged him with his car, which is a serious offense. They were definitely looking to give him lots of jail time, right? And somehow they were able to get him out of it. I'm sure it took a lot of money to do that. A lot of money, a lot of favors, because let's face it, you're going to have to know somebody who knows somebody to get you out of that kind of trouble. If it was your son or some regular motherfucking schmegular, you'd be done. Your son would be done. You know what I'm saying? But somebody was able, they got some good lawyers and they got some good folks around who was able to help that situation out a little bit. That's what I think anyway. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know. Do y'all know if that court case that went through yet or no? Well, hell, that's why her son has that entitlement attitude. Yes, the son is true, but my point is, people get upset because I remember a lot of people are like, "Why are y'all telling Dr. Simone not to be upset or divorce or make threats about divorcing her husband? Because she ain't fucking serious about it. Because she ain't serious about it. And if people were on her side and said, "Girl, let's go down to the courthouse tomorrow," she'd slap you around silly the next day. Y'all bitches knew I was just, letting off steam. That's exactly what Contessa said at the table. I was letting off steam. Why y'all only bringing up the negative shit? That's it. Don't come at me about what I told y'all about my spouse. Okay, come on in. Come on in. Hospital culture is something else. People don't believe it. Y'all think that all those people up there with their professional degrees don't act as they are way worse than anything that you experience in real life. And that's true. I used to come home and tell my husband stuff. He was like, I wouldn't believe the shit was actually true if you didn't work up there. But the stuff I would tell him about those people, please. Okay. Anyway, she's telling her that her household is a wreck. She said that after she cussed her baby out something nasty, she said that he went upstairs and packed his shit. He was living at their house. He went upstairs, packed his stuff, and she hasn't seen him since. Okay. And we already heard Dr. Daddy, because Dr. Daddy keeps in touch with his son. And when his mama said, "Baby, is there any way you can get me in contact with my son?" He said, no, I can't. That's up to the Lord at this point. If God wants you to talk to him, he'll work it out. If God doesn't, that'll be your punishment for the rest of your fucking days. And that's some nasty shit to say. Because when he said it, my heart stopped, because I was like, that is your job, is to help mend these damn relationships. So I'm hoping that was just a TV moment and not something else, because I thought it was ugly. Okay. Hey, thank you, Glay727, for blessing me, blessing the channel. I appreciate you, boo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and Merry Christmas. Yes, they're more ratchet than ratchet people. I'm not lying when I tell y'all this. I was saying that for a long time and people didn't believe me, but it's true. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can see Heavenly saying, "F them kids." She just had to cuss them out good or put her hands on her son. We don't know. Listen, I don't know any mama that wouldn't have cussed her son out good, though, for what he had been accused of. A cussing out is like the least of what you would get. You know what I'm saying? But she says she did. She says she's not talked to him again. And long story short, if you want to read between the lines, based on what Dr. Damon said, he's not on her side. He felt like you needed to be supportive. And he already said in confessional, I don't give a fuck what you say, they say, her, him, whatever. I will do it again. This is my son, my business. Okay? So it's just a matter of what you want to, what you want to do. Anyway, after all that, Quad said, listen, at the end of the day, we created these monsters. We created them. So we can't be mad at the monster. Also true. You can be mad at them though, but it's not that you did create them, but you also keep that monster going. You keep feeding that monster, okay? You keep pouring water on them and turning them into a gremlin every single time. How are they supposed to actually understand if you reward their bad behavior with Jamaica and a Tesla? It doesn't make any sense. That's why I believe that she did good. That's why I believe she did good then, just cussing them out, because maybe she used a frying pan on them too. I was about to say something, but I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, I'm sure my family will be like, girl, please don't bring us up in this shit. Because I was about to say, I've seen people do worse in my house. But anyway. Now we are on to Toya and Eugene. Toya and Eugene are walking through the park, y'all, probably on the Beltline here in Atlanta, taking in them good sun and them rays. And she is catching Eugene up on what's been going on in the family because he spends his Monday through Friday out of town. Now, Eugene said he was 2 hours away, but Toya made it seem like he was 5 hours away. Maybe it's the drive there and back, so that would be 5 hours because I think he said 2.5. But anyway, Eugene says, listen, I work at 5 ERs and I run my own practice. So he still has the hormone replacement therapy practice. And he said right now, the ER money is what is keeping this household and this family going. And he's not going to be able to move back home to work his other practice, his HRT practice, until it really ramps up. He said, I don't have the patience. So I got to do what I got to do. Eugene says that he is on a month-to-month lease for his HRT practice and that he is looking forward to Contessa and Scott getting done what they need to get done so that he can, move over there. And Toya's no MD ass said, no, we got to figure out a plan B. I was over there at Contessa's office and they got your ass in a shoebox, okay? They made part of your office. They took part of your office from the supply closet. So she didn't think enough about you to want to include you in the space. They have windows, we don't. And she's saying we, like Toya has a medical degree. The whole time, Eugene's face is like, what is going on? He doesn't even get a chance to go over there and look. This is another thing that's wrong with Toya. And she gets this honest too, because there's a lot of people who do this. You're married to somebody who has credentials, who's made a name for themselves in the community, who's doing shit that has a reputation that's keeping all of y'all in good standing with people. And then there's somebody on the side who doesn't have it quite like that, who keeps making all these fucking moves so they can say that's my contribution. Toya needs to know when to back down every once in a while. If you want this man here, then he can take that month-to-month lease over there at Contessa's. Okay, just take it over there, even if it's for a year. And then who knows, some of Contessa and Scott's built-in patients, they can send them down the hall to him, because that is the beauty of having an office space with multiple doctors. Okay, it makes no sense to me. But she tells him no before he even starts, and he doesn't even have a voice in this place. He didn't say, well, can I go see it or nothing? He's just like, bitch, I'm already, you know what I'm saying, working myself to death, trying to figure us out, right? I work 5 hospitals during the week. Where else am I supposed to find the time to find another location for this damn practice that I have? Whoo, Toya. Mm-mm. I do like you, girl. I'm not going to say I hate anybody on the show. I don't. But I do know a problem when I see one, and you a fucking problem. Okay, hold on. Toya said in an interview that they declined moving into, okay, they already declined moving into Scott and Contessa's building. Interesting. Anyway, I think that was Eugene's decision, and what looks a certain way now could be completely different. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, she doesn't give him that choice. Toya tells Eugene, why do you have to have 5 jobs? That's 5 hours away from me. What's the reason for that, Eugene? Okay, she's getting in his ass, and he's literally looking at her like, bitch, what are you taking? Okay, I might have to have you committed because you know better than have this conversation with me. But Eugene says, listen, the jobs that I have, I am doing what I need to do, Toya, to make more money, period. I'm not doing this because this is just something I want. This is something I have to do. I have to do this. And then Toya says, oh, let me not leave this part out. He said, not to mention when I was working locally, because Eugene is an ER doctor. I knew that he had one of those burnout jobs. He actually stood at the top, okay? He was the director of the ER. Can you imagine? Doesn't that sound like a crazy fucking job to have? He was the director of the ER. He got burned out so fucking bad that he literally quit because he said he couldn't take it anymore. He was going crazy. So on top of what he was doing at work, he didn't have the support at home because he said, I'm gone 5 days a week, Toya, and I still spend more time at home now than I did when I was working at the ER locally. He was at the damn hospital damn near 24 hours a day. Do you understand how hard that man works and what he is doing to himself? He's not a machine, damn it. Anyway, Toya said, listen, you have no idea. This is what she says in confessional. Eugene loves to tell me about what he does outside at the hospital and the doctor's office, but he has no idea what I go through as a single mother, taking care of his house and making it look beautiful. This is exactly why Toya's mama said, for the people who get upset, when Toya's mom and dad came to visit Toya and they said, bitch, we didn't raise you like this. They didn't call her a name. They said, Toya, we didn't raise you like this. Get a job and stop letting this man work himself to death for you. I remember her saying it. It rings in my ears. I'm not sure why it doesn't ring in hers. But when people tease Toya on this show, this is exactly what they are teasing. A person who is so selfish, so entitled, so ungrateful that she says stuff like this, and she does not understand how the rest of the world lives, apparently. Drive around the corner and see what it looks like outside of your neighborhood, Toya. Oh my God, good grief. That is disgusting. That is disgusting for a young lady who came from Detroit on the other side of the tracks and knew what that shit looked like. Girl, you are blessed. Anyway, Eugene says, Toya, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I don't know what you want me to do. I can't clone myself and put one of me in the house and one of me at the job. It just doesn't work that way. And she said, I think, she basically says, I think that there's a lot of Black men out here who would say that they need to be at home with their wives and their sons and their children and not at 5 different jobs. She still doesn't get it. She still doesn't get it. Bottom line is, Toya is ungrateful. To have lived in 6 luxury homes in the course of her time on this show, while everybody else is living in the same exact damn one. And if they did move, they only moved to one other house. You know what I'm saying? One other house in their time on this show. tells us everything that we need to know. Nobody does that. Not in real life, not in the same city. You know what I'm saying? There might be people whose job allows them to travel around, and they might live in a different home, but to live in 6 luxury homes in the same exact city, girl, that's something different. Come on in. Let's see. LaToya is a selfish individual. God will, or you said God will, Eugene will work for himself into an early grave. He will. You right about that. Come on in. Anyway, in the next scene, we have Quad and King. They visit Jackie at her office, and Jackie just gives a little insight on what she is doing with Quad, the labs, and just monitoring her her ovaries and the eggs that are growing because of the medication, so that she can hop a plane and go to Ghana for the egg retrieval. We also get to hear King talk a little bit about how he's contributing to all of this. He seemed to know a little bit about, the exam, the ultrasound and stuff like that. But the big thing that he said was, that he's paying for the trips. He's paying for Quad and him to go back and forth for these procedures. Again, I know a lot of people are liking Mr. King. And hey, if she likes him, I like him too. But I do think that Quad didn't move around very much when she got herself a King. I think that King and Eugene have very much the same personality and same sense of humor. They just come in 2 different packages. So that's it. But they are the same to me. Okay. I do have to put it on Eugene too, because he can stop if he wanted to. He said he loves working. So you think that he's doing this because he loves working? He said that there weren't enough good ER doctors, is what he said. There weren't enough good ER doctors. And so he feels responsible to actually, honor his oath and save people's lives. If Eugene is a very good ER doctor, I would rather have him on staff if I ever made an ER visit than to have a raggedy ass doctor who does not give a care about your life, right? So I think there is something to be said for that. I think that people who go to school to be a medical doctor or any of those things, I think that they have a need to help or to, serve. And there's some people that don't. He married someone who doesn't have that need. And so there got to be a balance. Word on the street is that Quad's man used to be her chauffeur, her chauffeur, and you only see them together when he's filming. Okay. You might be right. I don't know. Toya needs to be, let's see. This is what happens to good-hearted men when they get ran over by a disturbed woman that don't appreciate them. The emergency room is the worst place a healthcare worker. Facts. This is true. If you're going to go to the emergency room, if you can't wait to see your primary physician, child, and you had to go, you want a good emergency room doctor on staff. One time, I was brushing my hair. I raked a brush across my eyeball. Don't know what, I was rushing, trying to get to work. I scratched the lens of my eyeball. It was the most painful thing I have ever experienced in my entire life. I went to emergency. I never saw a doctor. They sent me to another doctor that I wouldn't be able to see until the next day. I suffered the entire day. I swole up like a balloon. When I saw the doctor the next day, he looked at me like oh my God, like you can tell that he was like nervous. He was like, we're going to look at this. And he said, I'm surprised that you left the emergency room, because I've had construction workers who had like a piece of steel or something scratch their eye, not as deep as yours. And they have come to me crying like a baby. And I said, what was I supposed to do? I was there for hours, never saw a doctor, never saw anybody. They just didn't help me. So at the end of the day, I actually respect Eugene for saying, I understand my need and I'm willing to allow myself to be used. You got to let people service or be of service the way they know how to be of service. Anyway, I wish more people felt that way, but sometimes, it doesn't happen that way. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Mimi and Steve. So we got to learn a little bit more about Mimi and Steve. This was a really nice scene. They are in the car, and here we are introduced to their daughter and to their son. They have an autistic son, and they're driving in the car. The parents are in the front, and the kids are in the back. And all of a sudden, you see their son just haul off and mollywop the hell out of their daughter, like pops her in the arm. And I mean, he didn't finish that. He didn't even finish the pop before she screams like, ah, like that. You could just tell that she was in pain. Anyway, they pull off to the side of the road, and Steve gets out to assess the situation, takes his daughter out the car. You know, he's trying to comfort her. And then they make a decision to switch seats. So Mimi gets into the back seat with her son while the daughter gets into the front seat, and they're trying to console them. He's still trying to console the daughter. But when they get into confessional, Mimi says, listen, having a son that is autistic, because we didn't even know, we noticed that he was doing things differently when he was a baby. Like instead of crawling, he started just rolling over to move around the room. And so she said, we ended up getting him tested, I think at 18 months, and they found out that he was autistic. Anyway, after that, she said, it has been some of the most challenging experiences they have ever had in parenting, and it has challenged their relationship. It has challenged how they feel and their relationships outside of their neutral family. And she said, but before she can get the words out all the way, Steve starts crying, and she's grabbing tissues for him to wipe his own eyes. Anyway, it was really a sensitive scene, and it just made I appreciated that they were able to share that about themselves. Mimi says that basically people who care for special needs children or autistic children, they don't get their flowers, and that we all deserve them. Okay, she's speaking for herself. We all deserve them because at the end of the day, there's no rule book. You are just trying to figure this shit out day by day. And sometimes you just need the grace to get it done. You need the grace to make mistakes. You need the grace to get it right, because people just assume because you're a parent, you have all the answers. She's actually absolutely right. And this applies to everything. I don't care who you are. You don't have all the answers as a friend. You don't have all the answers as a spouse. You don't have all the answers as a parent. You figure that shit out as you go, period. Okay. And you pray to God that you have the right role models and mentors who can help you every step of the way. That's what we need. We live in the social media world, and people listen to people on social media, and they really take that shit as this is how I do it. And if it's not done this way, it's not done anyway. That's not true. That's not true. I mean, I've had a chance to see life with social media the way it is now and without it. But there's a group of people that's growing up with only social media. And baby, the way people get chopped off and canceled and kicked out the next day if they don't act like a fucking robot with everything that happens in the world is crazy to me. Anyway, I thought they are good parents to me. I appreciate that they even allowed us to see this on television, even that little piece, because people do pretend like they have really perfect children and they're really perfect parents on TV, and that's not true. That's not true. But you can tell that there's a lot going on, right? And so she was talking about how she found a camp to put her son in for the summer because she wants to give him all the experiences and advantages that they can actually give. And I thought that was beautiful. It's good to know that parents are educating themselves about behaviors of special needs children instead of trying to discipline them traditionally. All the things of special needs children and of regular children, you can give them all the advantages, right? For special needs children, that's one, but you can give them all the advantages like Heavenly did with her sons, and someone still go wayward. Same with Dr. Simone's sons. We are getting a picture of these marriages and parenting in a way that we have not before. And I want to give all of those people over there their flowers, because I don't think that people understand how hard that is to do. There may be more to the autism. There's different levels of autism, right? And so we don't know where he is with autism. They didn't share that part, but we can definitely tell that there's he has a lot going on. That there's a lot going on. Okay. Anyway, grace to them, and thank y'all for bringing this to the show. And I hope that we can see more. Period. I actually saw someone the other day say they think that they're too nice to be on this show. They need to step it up and be, I don't know, more ratchet maybe. I think that they're fine. I actually like Steve and Mimi. I like them, and I think they bring some good balance to the show. And I want to hear more about their family life, period. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love Toya, though. I do love Toya. I do love Toya. I think that she has a lot going on, but I do love her. Okay. Now we have Toya and Eugene. They are at home, and I guess they are getting ready for their party. They're having a take the day off party. I guess it's in honor of Eugene, who has decided to take the day off to spend with his wife and family and friends, right? But they're having a take the day off party, and Eugene is going through the guest list. And he said, are we inviting everyone? Because he knows that Toya might not get along with Heavenly in particular. And Toya said, absolutely. We're inviting everybody, even though Toya might have a little PTSD. And after that, we start seeing flashbacks of the cast throughout the years, talking about Toya and her homes, her many, many homes, okay? So we get a flashback of Heavenly saying, isn't it interesting that Toya has all this money to buy camels and horses and pigs and shit and put them in the backyard, but not buy furniture? This house isn't even furnished yet, but Toya got all this shit in the backyard. Then we hear Quad say, listen, I know for a fact that Toya begged, borrowed, and stole, and in that order, to get her ass up in that house, okay? So Quad, somebody who does not like people talking about how she pays her mortgage, all of a sudden, child, she's sitting here talking this over Toya and Eugene's mortgage. You begged, you borrowed, and you stole to get over here, bitch. Okay? Then we have Audra, who did pretty much the same thing. Audra went through and I guess did some sort of research on how much Toya sold her house for. And she said, bitch, you sold it. You claim you sold it for $1 million, but you owed the IRS $999.99 thousand of it. So what you walk away with? $100 profit? Yeah, she literally went through. I think they might have had, like, production might have had like a calculator pop up on the screen and started doing subtractions from the $1 million profit. It was absolutely wild. But yeah, everybody has had something to say about Toya, her houses, and how much she spent throughout the years. Come on in. Toya can decorate a house, though. She got a beautiful house. She really does. Absolutely. Anyway, that's when Toya decides to share a group text with her husband, okay? She said that when they went to Brandy's birthday party, that someone left a fake Balenciaga bag at the party. And I guess it only had like a lipstick in it or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, Toya decides to put on the group text, who left this fake Balenciaga bag, right? Who had it? Who does it belong to? And then Heavenly responds back on the same damn group text, baby, that's mine, but my house is paid off, okay? Which offends Toya, even though Toya started it. Even though Toya started it, she could have sent that damn text out to each person individually. But she wanted everybody to know, bitch, if you was carrying this Balenciaga, it's fakety fake, motherfucking fake. Okay? So she started it. And Eugene said it. He said, well, did you have to do it that way? Could you not have figured out another way to send the message? She said, no, I absolutely had to send it that way. Okay? Period. I know that everybody gets mad at Heavenly, but that was fine. I said the same thing. I said, Heavenly absolutely should have responded back. Bitch, I get it. You like a good, expensive bag that costs a good 20,000, 30,000. My house is paid off. I have to put this shit in priorities, right? My priorities are together. That's all she said, is my priorities are together. Anyway, that put Toya in her fifis, and she decides to come back with, well, let me be with my family and my husband who love me, bitch. Okay. Heavenly snaps back again, and she said, look, my husband loves me too. And not only does he love me, but his peen is bigger. Okay. I don't have no small peen problems, bitch. Now Eugene is like, well, why would she say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, now he's angry. Toya, this got to be the dumbest text message I've ever heard. Who sends that through a text message? Toya says, exactly. But Toya forgot she's the one who started this fucking rumor. This is what's funny about Toya. Toya doesn't remember what she said ever. Anyway, after all of that, you just never know. After all of that, we get this next scene with Mimi and Steve. And Mimi and Steve are driving in the car, and she said, listen, we're about to head over to this party, but I'm going to give you a heads up to the type of ladies that we are dealing with, okay? And she tells him about the group text. And Steve is like, why would Heavenly say that? What opportunity did she have to see Dr. Eugene, like his member of all things? And Mimi said, well, bitch, I didn't forget. There was a party or a get together that everybody had where it was actually Toya who said, after the question was, what, I think it was Contessa who asked the question too. She said, what thing did you realize wasn't true after marriage, right? Something like that. What did you think wasn't true after marriage? What, misunderstanding did you have? Anyway, Toya said that it would get bigger. That it would get bigger is what she said. As if Toya and Eugene didn't get it in before marriage. Toya, you didn't marry that man a virgin. Oh my goodness. That's why people don't think you like him very much, because you say dumb shit like that. When you're drunk, you drink way too much, in my opinion, and then you get yourself out of you just go out of character, period. Anyway, Toya should have told Heavenly, yeah, it's big for you and Becky, if you say so. Toya told that to everybody, including us. That's the problem. It's going to be the right size for Becky, is what Dr. Heavenly said. And when she said it, Dr. Heavenly did what? She looked at Toya like, bitch, see, this is exactly why. This is exactly why everybody keeps trying to warn you to cut that shit out, girl. Do you remember when Mariah outed Toya in confessional about her cheap purses in the beginning of marriage? No, I forgot, but you're right. She sure did. She sure did. So anyway, Mimi tells Steve, just so you know, Toya was the one who brought the shit into everybody's consciousness, okay? And he goes, got it, right? So now it's the day of the party, y'all. It's the day of the party, and everybody is coming into the house. Simone, I think, arrives first, and she says some shit like, child, I don't know why Toya would call this skip work day when everybody knows this bitch doesn't have a job, okay? So this is how Toya lives Monday through Sunday. And if God gave us an extra day, Toya would still find a way to be at the pool. She don't do shit, right? Again, everybody talking about how Toya doesn't do a thing. This isn't something that, people just made up to pick on Toya about. They do it because Toya jumps down Eugene's throat, and then she wants him not to do anything. You want him to go to work or not? Take a pick, Toya. Anyway, everybody who walks into Toya's house, literally their mouth drops. These are all doctors, by the way. Their mouth drops like, my God, child, look at this door. Look at these ceilings. Look at the kitchen. Everything is impressive. They are like floored, but they also know, bitch, there's 2 doctors in my house and we ain't living like this. So Toya might have a problem. Toya might be in over her head, but we ain't gonna say nothing, okay? And that's the reason why Toya is so bent out of shape at this party before they even start good, because she doesn't have to wait for somebody to say some shit. It's living in her head. She already knows the answer, okay? Last week I told y'all I thought that Toya might have actually built something within her means. Not anymore. I think Toya might be living outside of her means with this house. Okay. Anyway, everybody's telling Toya how beautiful her home is. Mimi and Steve show up. Mimi's wearing this cream cover up. It's supposed to be a pool party, by the way, but everybody is coming in with their bathing suits and shit on. Come on in, Trinidad. Nice to have you, babe. Toya is acting bipolar, right? Toya comes, Mimi has on this cream colored cover up over her bathing suit, and she grabs herself a drink. Toya said that she wanted to decorate her backyard like it was the south of France. That is how she has decorated the back. Anyway, when Mimi comes in, she goes to sit on one of the chairs, the outside chairs, and she puts a napkin down on the seat. And Toya said, what the hell are you doing? You don't think my house is clean? You don't think my chairs are clean? Bitch, this isn't Heavenly's house. It's clean over here, okay? Then we get that flashback of Mariah saying one of the best lines in history. Pressure wash this motherfucker, okay? When she was talking about Heavenly's house, pressure wash all this shit. You're going to have all of us going to the hospital for contamination, okay? But she said, you ain't got to worry about that over here. All is clean. I done bought in extra oxygen for this party, okay? Now, after that moment alone where Toya screams on Mimi, who literally is looking at Toya like, what is wrong with this girl? And this is a professional psychiatrist. Mimi's like this, like, I don't understand you, Toya, okay? Steve looks down at his wife. He can see that she's, put off by what just happened. And in confessional, they said, we're ready to go right now. Like, I don't do this. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. They are offended. Steve said, I could be in Miami. I'd have messed up a fit coming over here to watch this girl act a fucking fool. So we know that Steve and Mimi may not fool with Toya and Eugene, unfortunately. No, Toya was drinking Patron with a splash of lemon, okay? She had some sort of whatever it was tequila. Anyway, when Heavenly comes in, Heavenly is full of compliments, okay? This is a beautiful home, Toya. Everything about it is beautiful. Okay, she said, this shit reminds me of the one that you had before the last one, before that one before. Okay, so she's going back talking about how many houses did Toya have? I don't even fucking know how many houses Toya had. She's had so many. Anyway, Toya said, my forever home. And she said, yeah, it puts me in the mind of your forever home. That shit is a million times better than the home Toya called her forever home. That backyard pool. Remember when Toya insisted on Eugene putting in a pool for the forever home, and that shit was like a little ass pool? It was nowhere near the size of what she got right now. I don't know. I was like, girl, bye. That's not the same house. Not at all. Anyway, Heavenly said, yeah, that one, child, the forever home, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, even production is shady because they flash back to all of Toya's old homes. Not all of them. They only gave us 4, but Toya's had 6. Toya has had 6 homes since she started. And every time they showed a home, they put a number beside it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's shade. Toya gets mad. Toya gets mad at the girls. The way production rolled up on Toya in that scene, baby, okay? I was like, no. Okay, the pool last night, that pool was fire. Toya had that little ass pool. Even when I saw the pool, I said, Toya bought this house for the pool because she was never happy with that pool, baby. Ever, ever. Anyway, Toya starts giving the women a tour of the house. And we go to Toya's closet. I don't know what the rest of the house looked like, but she took them into that closet and she had a real life cherry blossom tree growing in the middle. of the house. Okay. Contessa's jealous ass was like, well, hopefully it's removable for when they decide they don't want this one no more, because everybody knows they're about to get an eighth house. Okay. Contessa, we all know that you're going to put a cherry blossom tree somewhere, whether it's in that damn office or in your house. You're going to do something because that's how you operate. Okay. Now we have King. I asked y'all when I did this last review if y'all thought that King liked Quad, and a lot of y'all was like, y'all thought maybe I was putting too much on it, that he's just awkward. No, not in this scene. He's not in rhythm with Quad yet. He says a lot of shit out of pocket that he should not say. He embarrasses that woman, period. Okay. You said Toya might be low-key flipping homes and banking the profit. Well, that could be true if it wasn't for Audra, who came out and said, Toya, didn't you say that you flipped your forever home and made a cool million? But when we went through and we looked at how much you owed to the IRS, to the state of Georgia, to, you know what I'm saying? It turns out that your profits was actually zero. After they took all the money, you still owed money. That's why her and Audra almost went to blows in that scene. She almost fought her. Okay. So no, I don't know about that yet. If Toya's really flipping houses, we're going to have to see. But Toya, after that, King joins the men. Okay. And King said, I love this house, baby, but what the hell is all these naked men doing around? Okay. Because Toya, who fancies herself a black female Hugh Hefner, she loves to have a man at the house with his penis out. After saying on camera that your husband might not live up to your expectations, Toya literally brings in at least 8 men that are being used as waiters at the house. And they only have on Speedos, child. Y'all remember when Toya had that one party? I think she had some sort of paint party, and she had a man standing as a model. I'm not even sure if that man had on one of those socks that they put on, you know what I'm saying? But he had the cheeks out, he had the beans out, you know what I'm saying? And then he had a sock. I'm assuming, maybe, I don't know. It could have just been the thing that was hanging out. But here, they're all walking around with that pudge predominantly out, child. And everybody is like, what is going on? Okay. Except for Dr. Jackie and Simone. They said, I love it here. I love a Toya party. This is what I'm into. But Heavenly and Mimi said, why would we accept food from this oiled up, you know what I'm saying, Speedo wearing mofo? I don't want to eat a salad or an hors d'oeuvre from this. This is nasty, Toya. They were offended, okay? Heavenly said, I'll serve my damn self. Don't hand me nothing. Just point me over to where the food is, and I'll grab it, okay? So when Lexi said, I'm not eating food served from no man that don't look sanitary. Well, that was their point. Mimi and Heavenly said it doesn't look sanitary. Simone sat down where her eyeballs would be, you know, level with the package and said, over here, child, I need a refreshment. I need something, an hors d'oeuvre. I need something. Okay. So yes, I thought that shit was hilarious. Anyway, after all of that went down, Toya, did I go too fast? Hold on, y'all. Toya wants to play a game. Yes, Toya wants to play a game where she said she wanted to test the man's strength. Now, Toya, in my opinion, appears to be feeling fine. Whatever she had been drinking all day, because they're outside. It's clearly nighttime outside. They've been drinking, right? Chloe said, I want to play a game. She comes over to where Eugene is. She starts pulling out these hula hoops and like putting them on the ground, right? And she said that she wants to test the man's strength. All of the men starts groaning. They started saying things like, I thought we was just supposed to chill. Like, why we got to play this game of strength? I've been drinking all day. This isn't what I want to do, right? And then you see, is it Anila and her husband, the Indian couple? They're also at this party. So if they're at the party, there's other people that's not a part of cast at the party. It's probably some of Eugene's co-workers, his peers may be at the party, because this party was stacked. We have the people that are filming, and then you see in the background a lot of other people, right? And I'm bringing this up because this is how bad this scene was. It embarrassed the shit out of Eugene. But the men, all of the men are groaning like, we don't want to do this, man. We just want to hang out and chill. Eugene says, I agree. So he's trying to, please his friends, because at the end of the day, Eugene's job is to make sure that everybody's having a good time. And if they're groaning because they don't want to do it, that means they're not going to have a good time doing this game. They're not going to have a good time doing this game. Eugene thinks it's funny. He says, look, I'm about to write y'all all a doctor's note so that none of us have to play the game. And he starts passing out the doctor's note. And if Toya wasn't drunk, she would have been like, oh, y'all don't want to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to be able to read your partner, especially in these kind of environments. I don't give a shit who you are. When you have parties, your family could be there, could just be family, could be 2-3 friends, but you got to be able to read your partner and know, maybe let's not push this button so that you don't have a moment the way Toya had it. Eugene is trying to be cute. He's writing the doctor's notes. All the guys are laughing and saying, thank you, I'll take my note, right? But Toya's getting pissed, even with this, because she wants Eugene to be a yes man and only be on her side. When I tell you to do something or I give you an order, bitch, you do it. And that's exactly what it gave off, okay? Toya lost her mind in this scene. And she starts belittling Eugene and emasculating Eugene in this scene. And emasculating Eugene in this scene. When he's saying, Toya, I don't know if we want to do it. She said, Eugene, you know what I need from you. Okay. And then she says, this is where things really got out of control. Eye contact, please. Because Eugene is writing, he's still writing the doctor's notes and passing out the notes. Eye contact, please. And now everybody has gone silent because they realize that this bitch has gone wild, right? Everybody's silent and they're doing, ooh, damn. Oh, so they're making every single body at the party, not just the people on cast. You can see in the background, people going like this. I was like, Toya, you can't read the room. You can't read the room. Eugene tries to ignore her. And he's trying to ignore, like, maybe she'll see that she's doing too much, in my opinion, because Eugene doesn't want to embarrass. He doesn't want to embarrass Toya. You know what I'm saying? If this was Quad and Dr. G back in the day, Dr. G would meet Quad toe to toe. Like, bitch, we can both go at it. We'll both embarrass each other. You know what I'm saying? Even King and Quad. I think that King would go toe to toe with Quad, but not Eugene. He doesn't want this. He doesn't. Okay. But anyway, Toya says, Eugene says, I'm just Toya. We don't want to do this. I even got the little doctor's notes to show you that, you know, I'm trying to be playful here, but we don't want to do this. This heifer says, oh, so you want to be hard? Toya. Then she says, because now she's so pissed, she doesn't give a shit what happens. So she says in front of all these people, God, Jesus, and everybody. Okay. Toya said, Eugene, can you please be the leader and lead your friends to this side? Can you? Okay, can you please be the leader? Questioning his manhood, his ability to lead, not just his family, but his friends at the party now. This is where Heavenly, who is recognizing, in my opinion, because I did ask y'all to take the poll at the top. I'm going to get the results in a second. Heavenly says, Toya, 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 because everybody's embarrassed for her, right? This is when everybody's experiencing secondhand embarrassment. People don't know what to do. Simone is sitting there like this, like literally like, oh shit, Toya, what are you doing? You're embarrassing this man. The cameras, and listen, production ain't cutting this out. Production is not cutting this out. You're embarrassing Eugene in front of his peers. You're embarrassing him in front of his friends. But Heavenly pipes up and says, Toya, 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 Toya. Nah, baby, don't do that. No, 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 no. Right? It was as easy as one could do. This is literally a mothering kind of voice. Period. It's a mothering girl. I know you want everybody to play this game, but don't do that. Don't do it that way. Toya said, well, I asked him 30 minutes ago, and he still hasn't done it. Well, he's not your child. He doesn't have to do it. Anyway, Eugene said, Toya, I tried to tell you in a funny way. You said extras were there. I don't know. They look like they could have been friends to me. That's what I'm going to call them, friends, because people literally stopped talking. People literally stopped talking. She could have just had, I've not seen extras like that. I know they bring in bloggers sometimes, but it's typically people that they know. Okay. In confessional, Mimi, who is a psychiatrist and should have heard and seen everything under the sun, she says in confessional, I ain't never seen no shit like this. She said, I ain't never seen no shit like this. And she said, what Toya did to Eugene was cringy. That was cringe to a person who listens to people's darkest fucking secrets, okay, for a living. This is what she gets paid to do. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And she just says, I've not seen it. I don't understand who Toya is right now. Anyway, Toya says, fine, I'm done with it. I'm done. You don't want to do it? I'm done. And she walks off, but she's embarrassed as shit too. She's embarrassed, but she's embarrassed and thinking that it's her husband's fault. Eugene should have just did what I told him to do, and this would have never happened. That is some narcissistic, low down, no good bullshit. You want to blame him for doing nothing at all except saying, hey, me and my friends don't want to participate in this right now. Maybe you waited too late in the day, Toya. Maybe you could have just called him to the side and said, listen, I really thought about blah, blah, blah. Is it possible? And let them decide. But you don't get to tell people what to do and expect them to just do it on demand. That's just not how it works. I thought that was really gross. And I saw Toya on Watch What Happens Live, and she still didn't get it. Okay? At least not in the clips that I saw. She made it seem like, oh, well, he should have, he was just trying to, make things look good. And he was worried too much about what the ladies thought. He wasn't worried about what the ladies thought. That man was popping his eyes every 5 seconds. He couldn't believe that you had turned into the Tasmanian devil right in front of him. Anyway, Toya says, the shit's not funny to me. She storms off. Heavenly jokes. Child. Okay, not the lovebirds. Is there trouble in paradise? Because Heavenly, who's always said y'all had a good relationship, whether it's on the camera or off the camera, she says that Eugene loves Toya with everything in him, and he's never gonna let Toya go, even though Toya be embarrassing the shit out of him. But she said, not the lovebirds getting into it, child. Is there trouble in paradise? She goes over into a huddle where I think Mimi was standing, and I think also Quad. Nobody else. Quad, Mimi, and Heavenly. Heavenly jokes, not in this new house, child. The divorce is going to take all the money if this is where this shit is leading. Who's going to get the house in the divorce? Quad said, nobody. Ain't nobody getting a divorce in this motherfucker. This is the type of house that you die in, okay? We're gonna live in this motherfucker just like the Smiths, Will and Jada Pinkett. She said, you can live on one end, I'll live on the other. But we ain't divorcing up in this motherfucker, okay? It is what it is. And they just giggled about it. Again, I know people feel like you're being disrespected in these type of situations, but you put people in uncomfortable situations. And this is what they do to lighten the mood. We're here, we're filming. Everybody was having a good time. And in under 30 seconds, you lost your damn mind. And now people got to figure out how to make you okay because you have lost your mind. Okay, you've embarrassed all of us. We could all run the fuck up out of here. But your good friends, the people who love you, are saying, let's just sit here for a minute and see if she can figure it out. Because that's what a good friend does. I'm not going to run up out of here, even though I fucking want to, even though I want to, because this is some ghetto shit. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to make this seem as normal as possible until you guys figure out a way to be okay. Because people have their moments. People have their moments. And we have all done it. Okay? But anyway, Toya's in the house. Now Curtis asks King, Quad's man, the one she's trying to have a baby with, is this what you're looking forward to? Because you next, brother, okay? Now, Curtis should have shut the hell up, but he does say this. And that's when we hear King say, not I. I'm not doing this shit, okay? In confessional, Quad says, I understand how Toya feels. I understand sometimes you lose your shit. It is what it is. But we can, she's trying to make it seem okay. I'm still Toya's friend. I still love her. She has more good days than she has bad. This is one little moment that we can get past, right? Then Quad says to Eugene, oh, hold on. Let me back this up. While Quad says that, I understand, King says, that's why I'll never move into a woman's house. And Quad looks at him like, this motherfucker here. And I told y'all, I don't know if he's just awkward or if he literally is slow in the head. He doesn't know how to have context clues on what's going on around him. That wasn't the time to say that, but he says it with a smile on my face. That's why I'll never move into her house. Child, you guys are talking about having a baby together. What is going on? Why would you say that? It makes you look stupid to me. I don't know. Anyway, Toya is inside crying to Anila and to Dr. Contessa. Eugene ends up walking inside the house and he tries to take Toya aside because he knows that Toya is gone, right? I'm just going to come in. We're going to talk. We're going to get this together so that people feel okay. Exactly what he was supposed to do as her partner. He grabs her shoulder very gently. She says, no, don't touch me. I don't want to talk to you. And she goes walking on. And he said, fine, Toya, but he's still trying to talk to her, right? Toya says, don't be nice now when you just embarrass me. You embarrass me. She is straight up on some Ike Turner bullshit. You made me do this to you, okay? You made me do this to you. Come out of pocket. And now everybody got something to talk about. He didn't, though. He didn't make you do that, even though he's about to take responsibility for it. Eugene said, well, what the fuck did you say? Because now he is pissed. What did you say to get me here? And he does curse. And Bravo did play it with the curse words, at least the version I heard. Okay? Anyway, Toya said, watch your damn ringtone. Don't cuss at me because you wouldn't want me to cuss at you. Okay? But then she gaslights the hell out of Eugene, even in this moment, because Toya knows she was wrong. When he said, what did you say to me? Basically saying you emasculated me out there, saying I wasn't a leader, right? And she said, well, why would that bother you? Unless that's how you really feel on the inside, like you're not a leader. All I said was you're not a leader, but if that's not true, why would it bother you? Which makes Eugene buck his eyes open like, this bitch, is she crazy? And Toya picks up her drink and she walks away. She's still drinking. Toya is a fucking nut. Oh my God. Anyway, Toya said that Eugene made her do all of this. And then, if that wasn't enough, because listen, Eugene is still trying to argue his point. He says, Toya, I'm not the only one who felt what you did out there, what you said. It was me. All the ladies heard it. They felt a way about it. Your friends was trying to help you cool down, like calm your nerves. And she said, you think I care what these bitches think? Do you think I care what they think? She's screaming. And now Eugene does what he knows how to do as an ER doctor. No, I don't think you care what they think. Okay. Being that agreeable bitch, because I need you to calm down. So whatever that comes out of your mouth, you just agree with. I'm going to go up to the top of the roof and kill myself. Okay, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, there's nothing you can do. Toya's gone. All of the people, she's not only offended her husband, but now she's offending all of her guests. She does not care. She does not care. She had a vision of what she wanted to happen in her mind. And because it didn't go that way, everybody can get it. Okay? She said, F those bitches. Not only F those bitches, but they could never have the real conversations that you and I have. Our marriage is so much better than their marriages. Those bitches can't be themselves in their marriage. They have to leave their house and get with other folks in order to be themselves. Toya, how do you know that Eugene is not being someone else with you? Perhaps he's the one who can't be himself in your marriage, and he has to leave the house to be somebody else, his real self. Maybe that's why he likes it so much 5 hours away at those damn hospitals. What if that's the case? Because it could be. Just saying. You are flipping out. Okay? Eugene says, okay, cool. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? She can't hear me now anyway. So he ends up going back outside to the party while, like I said, Toya says, I'm gonna go get my makeup on, get myself together. She takes her drink and she steps out. Now Eugene is outside and he's trying to make it okay. You know what I'm saying? I've been married to Toya for 18 years. This little ass moment is a blip. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take none of this shit seriously, even though everybody at the party is like, Eugene, man, you okay? You okay? They rubbing his shoulder and shit like, dude, blink twice and we can go tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'll get you over to the hotel, go on ahead and get that paperwork started. People are definitely not on Toya's side in this scene. But Eugene covers for his wife. He is still being the perfect husband. And he says, listen, we can all get hot. Toya just got hot. I get hot. Now people are like, you get hot? Because I ain't never seen you hot. He said, yes, I get hot too. We have these moments. You know what I'm saying? Steve asked Eugene if what happened to him today was normal. Do you always have these experiences with her? And Eugene says, so you're trying to psychoanalyze me? Is that what you're doing? Child, this was a hot ass mess. He is trying to psychoanalyze you. But again, because Eugene is trying to make this normal, and really what he's doing is trying to say, don't give my wife too much for this. He is still covering for Toya in this scene. And that's his right to do because that's his wife, right? A lot of people will want that from their spouse. You might have seen me flip out, but what you shouldn't do is go out and say, yeah, that bitch is like this all the time. You know what I'm saying? He's basically just saying she had a moment. Anyway, after he says that, Eugene said, I didn't have her back. I didn't have her back. She's been under a lot of stress with the house and everything. And I should have been able to read her energy better, is what he says. If I was doing what I was supposed to do, I would have recognized that she needed more from me, and I would have did what I was supposed to do in that moment for her. So I apologize to her. That's what he says. I'm going to sit here and just let it die down a little bit so that I can give her an apology, but I definitely owe her one. Whose husband is like that? Whose? Let's see. My sentiment exactly. That's why Eugene works 5 hours several days, 5 hours away several days a week. Toya be devastated the day Eugene leaves her. He's waiting. Sorry, got a call. Yes, he's protecting his wife still. Eugene loves that the dirty panties on you, on Toya. Yes, that's what he's doing. He told everybody at that party that's not Toya. And if anything, it was my fault. I should have read her better. I knew the stress she was under. I knew that this was a big thing for her, and I let her down. Anyway, King says to him that he respects him, not just saying sorry, just, out of let's just end this, you know what I'm saying? On some anger shit, because an apology, when done with an attitude or anger, you might as well not even give the apology. That is when Quad says, I apologize when I'm wrong. I apologize when I'm wrong. And King says, you do, but with an attitude. Okay. So you might as well not even give one. That's what he basically said a second ago. Don't give an apology with an attitude. And you're the type of lady who gives an apology with an attitude. Quad looks at him like he's crazy. Okay. She's disgusted. She's disgusted. She cannot stand him. In this moment, King does not know how to hold them. King, it's okay to shut up. This isn't even about you. This is about Toya and Eugene, and you could have backed out of it. But the way you like to throw your hat in confessional, Quad says, so basically you're saying that I'm like a bitch. I act like a bitch, right? And he looks at the camera and says, well, King was making it about him. Quad will be firing King soon. She better. She better, because he's going to give her the blues. If she thinks this is cool, wait till that baby comes and think about the fights you're going to have with him. That man y'all don't have the same temperament, period. Okay. Have you seen the sneak preview for next week? Not yet. Not yet, but I'm going to see it. Okay. Anyway, while Toya is in the house, she is talking to Anila and Contessa. And she says, listen, I want to redo. That was nasty what happened out there. And I want to go back out and rejoin the party. Right. Quad comes in and she's like, yeah, girl, everybody falls. It's okay. And Eugene is really apologetic. And Toya says he's apologetic to y'all. She said, nah, girl, that man's out there talking about how he wants to apologize to you. He's working out a plan to apologize to you, right? And Toya said, cool, I want to redo. However, Toya is so lost in her own damn sauce. Toya said, I'm going to need 2 motherfuckers to get up out my house before I come out there and apologize. And that is Heavenly and Mimi, because all they were doing was mocking me and adding fuel to the fire and berating me and, making fun of me. Now, Contessa, who was also joining in on the jokes, because that's what Contessa does. Contessa said, bitch, you want me to go out there and kick him out? Because I will. You don't even have to go back out there and see him. I'll just let him know and take him back outside. And this girl, Toya, walks her big bottom on over to her makeup counter, and she gets her face done back up because she had been crying for a minute. I mean, crying real tears. And she says, no, I'll do it myself. Okay. Toya goes, gets herself together, comes back out. Everybody's back outside. They're waiting for Toya, right? Everybody's sitting with their, their boyfriends or their husbands. And when Toya comes back out, she didn't even step on the platform good before she cussed every single person at that party out. She said, I blame every single one of y'all, everybody at this fucking party, for making Eugene feel like he wasn't enough. Okay? He has been working overtime, recycling in his head what y'all were going to say about him, your opinions about him. Eugene wasn't thinking about their opinions. Eugene is sitting there like, what? Eugene is sitting there like, what are you talking about, Toya? She said, y'all sit up there and beat this man and made him think that he has to prove himself to you hoes, to you bitches. She's calling them every name in the book. Heavenly was like, she said, y'all don't give a fuck about my marriage. Y'all talk about us when y'all got all kinds of shit going on in y'all house and y'all marriages. They're like, girl, Quad said, bitch, you were supposed to come out here so that we can get the party back to having fun. Not for this shit. We didn't come for this shit. Mimi looked like she was about to cry. I could have kept my ass home with my babies instead of coming out here for this. Heavenly says, Toya, we have your back when it comes to your marriage. We weren't talking about you and your marriage. Yes, you were. Yes, the F you were. You, Brandy, and Mimi were standing right here. Brandy said, how the fuck did I get in it? I wasn't over there. Brandy was not over there. It was Quad, but she's so loose as a goose. She don't know what to do. Okay. Anyway, she cusses them all out. Then she had the nerve to say, because she already knew that they were going to say that she was acting a foolio on the Don Julio. She said, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk either. I'm speaking with a sober mind and with a sober mouth, bitch. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Sober mind, sober heart. You about to get this work, though. Worry about your own damn marriages, not about ours. Y'all always giving it to us. Anyway, she kicks him out. She ends up walking off it back into the house with a drink in her hand. And everybody said, listen, this is it. We're done. We're leaving. Heavenly said, I'm on my way out, bitch. I don't know what this is about, but we didn't do anything to that girl. Like, she is losing her shit for what? Heavenly walked through the living room or the kitchen and said, bitch, where's my fake purse? If you got it, give it to me. I need it. I'm on my way out the door. Her and Mimi go outside. I think Heavenly says, Toya, I didn't talk about you. I was not talking about you. Anyway, Toya said, yes, you did. Yes, you did. You absolutely were. I heard you. Right? She walks out the door. Mimi and Heather outside. I think King comes out. He goes, why don't y'all just come in for a few minutes and let's talk some more? Mimi said, you wouldn't get me back in that motherfucker. Toya wants not only to act a fool in front of you, but she wants to control your reaction to it. And under no circumstances will I be around shit like that. You're not going to control my reaction to you acting crazy, girl. Okay? Period. Heavenly says, Toya truly is the negative spirit in her own play, bitch. She wants to make it seem like everybody else is somehow, giving it to her, upsetting her, whatever the case may be. She said, that's not true. It's always Toya, and I'm not going to take responsibility for this either. I love Toya. I want her and Eugene to make it, but I'm not doing this with her. Anyway, now she's inside, and it's Dr. Jackie and Quad and Contessa, and they are trying to console her. And they're like, girl, what happened? We ain't seen you like that. And she said, I'm tired of it. It's always the same fucking thing. Heavenly continues to come after me in my marriage. And Jackie's like, are you sure it was Heavenly? Because I don't think anybody was really saying anything to that degree. And basically, Toya is, I guess, having a PTSD moment where she believed that Heavenly was saying something about her marriage child because maybe she talked so much. And she said, y'all got to stop giving, Toya says, y'all got to stop giving Heavenly passes, okay? Because I need everybody on my team when it comes to this one. Heavenly talks about everybody's marriage. She's talked about yours, Contessa, and they give a flashback. She's talked about yours, Quad, and they give a flashback of whatever she said about Quad. How about you, Simone? The flashback, and then also of Jackie. And they're all kind of sitting there like, Toya, this shit is in the past. It's happened. It's done with. It is what it is. We should all be able to move forward. But Toya's like, I'm not moving forward. And that's how it ends. So we'll have to see how it plays out for next week. But yeah, it was a good episode. I really liked it. Blame it on the Patron. Toya was a drunk embarrassment. Yeah, I know people think, that Toya doesn't drink a lot. Toya drinks enough to where her personality changes. And that's all you need. You know what I'm saying? When you start drinking to the point of where your personality changes, and you don't even have to have a drink. Let me just say this too. When you become the type of drunk that don't need a drink, but your body goes into activation mode because it knows what you should have in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because your brain and your gut still is working on that alcohol, whether it's the memory of it, or not. You know what I'm saying? Heavenly didn't do anything this time. Heavenly did not. Heavenly actually tried to protect her. Let me see what y'all had to say on the poll. Okay, hold on. I asked y'all, do you think that Mimi and Heavenly were doing more than any of the other guests during Toya's crash out? 22% of you said yes, she was right to tell them to get the F out. 57% of y'all said no, the Patron got Toya acting a fool. And 20% of y'all said y'all was decorating a tree. So happy Merry Christmas, okay? She's a mean drunk. Yeah, Toya acts a fool on that drink, period. Eugene is still trying to protect LaToya. That he is. I mean, listen, if this is a one-off type of incident, I can see you trying to protect your spouse or if you're trying to keep your relationship together, his job was to protect her. So it was good that he didn't, because it would have made it worse. But Toya and Heavenly are the same. They just have how they handle themselves is a little different. Anyway, I've not seen Dr. Heavenly go after her husband the way Toya goes after Eugene, though. Somebody said Toya and Simone are giving sexual frustration. You wouldn't think Heavenly was a friend of this season. No, I agree. She has a major role this season, right? She does. I agree. Toya has been on that gin because gin makes you sin, okay? Yeah, Toya is not happy. I don't know what grass she believes is greener on the other side. And she should get on her knees and pray to never find out, because as of right now, it looks like from the outside looking in that Toya has a dream life. But she's not happy. So she's not happy. She's not happy, damn it. And it's unfortunate because I think that Eugene will pull the moon out the sky to give to Toya. I think he'd pull the moon out the sky if he could, to make sure that Toya was happy. And it's sad, right? But anyways, y'all, that is the episode for episode 4. I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. I think Married to Medicine it's been a long time since we've seen them have this type of realness on the show, right? Usually it might be one couple, but I think that everybody is doing their part and bringing their best selves and some of their worst moments to the show. And I actually like Mimi and Steve. I want to see more of Mimi and Steve and their family. I don't think that we need to see any craziness. I don't think that's how their family works. And I think that's okay. Definitely not. Toya, stay home, girl. There's nobody out. There's nobody Better than Eugene, I promise. Eugene is the tip of the motherfucking top. He's the cream de la creme. Okay. Let's see, back-to-back great episodes. Yes. So I will be back actually with Real Housewives of Potomac, but I'm gonna give myself a break a little bit because I scream a lot when I'm on this damn YouTube for some reason. I don't know who I think I am, but I got to get my stuff together. Anyways, you guys have been amazing. I appreciate every single one of y'all for hanging out with me and listening to this review. And I want to thank Show the Pearl and Lady D Keys for coming through and helping moderate. So thank y'all. And that's it, y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. Okay. Hit the like button, share the video, follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. Until the next time, y'all. Bye-bye.